Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I gotta be honest with you, I've been selling cars for almost 20 years now. I've sold everything from budget beaters to six-figure luxury cars. And you know what? I'm still driving a 2015 model. Yeah, you heard that right. A car salesman who's not driving the latest and greatest. People ask me all the time, dude, you sell cars, why don't you drive a brand new one? You can get a great deal, right? And yeah, I could walk onto my lot right now and drive home in a 2025 anything I want. But I'm not gonna do it. And today I'm gonna tell you exactly why. This isn't me bashing new cars. I sell them every day and some people absolutely should buy new. But for most of us, man, the math just doesn't add up anymore. So buckle up, because we're about to have a real conversation about old cars versus new cars. No sales pitch, no BS, just the truth from someone who lives and breathes this industry every single day. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We keep it real on this channel, and we're here to help you make smart car buying decisions. All right, let's get into it. The price shock. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Price. Holy crap, have you seen what new cars cost these days? The average new car price in America right now is pushing 50 grand. $50,000 for an average car. When I started selling cars back in the early 2000s, you could get a loaded Honda Accord for like 25 grand. Today, that same Accord will run you 40 to 45,000 if you want decent options. A Toyota Camry, same story. Even compact cars that used to be the affordable option are now 30 grand or more. And we're not even talking about trucks and SUVs yet. A halfway decent pickup truck, you're looking at 50 to 60,000 easy. Want a Tahoe or a Suburban? Better have 70 to 80 grand ready. Luxury cars? Forget about it. A base model BMW 3 Series starts at like 45 grand and goes up from there. Meanwhile, my 2015 that I bought 3 years ago cost me 18 grand with 45,000 miles on it. It had already taken the massive depreciation hit. The previous owner ate that loss, not me. And you know what? It runs perfectly. Does everything I need it to do. Sure, it doesn't have the fancy new infotainment system, but my phone connects via Bluetooth, and that's all I really need. Here's the thing. When you're dropping 50 grand on a new car, that's real money. That's a down payment on a house in many parts of the country. That's 4 years of college tuition. That's your retirement account taking a serious hit. You better be damn sure you need that new car. Depreciation is a killer. Okay, so let's talk about the biggest wealth killer in the car world. Depreciation. This is what keeps me up at night when I think about buying new. You know what happens when you drive a brand new car off the lot? You immediately lose 10 to 20% of its value. Like instantly. You haven't even made it home yet, and you're already underwater. That 50 grand car, it's now worth 40 to 45 grand. Congratulations, you just lit $5,000 to $10,000 on fire. And it gets worse. In the first year, most new cars lose 20 to 30% of their value. So that 50 grand car, after 1 year it's worth 35 to 40 grand. You just lost $10,000 to $15,000. For what? The privilege of being the first owner? By year 3, most cars have lost 40 to 50% of their original value. So now your 50 grand investment is worth 25 to 30 grand. You've lost half your money in 3 years. Show me any other purchase where you'd be okay with that. Now compare that to buying a 3-year-old used car. Someone else already ate that depreciation. You're buying the car at 50% off. And here's the secret. That 3-year-old car still has tons of life left. Modern cars easily go 200,000 miles if you take care of them. A 3-year-old car probably has 30 to 40,000 miles. You've got another 150,000 miles of driving ahead of you. I had a customer last month who traded in a 2022 vehicle he bought new, paid 48 grand for it. 2 years later, I gave him 32 grand on trade. He lost $16,000 in 2 years. That's 8 grand a year. That's like a part-time job just evaporating into thin air. Interest rates are insane. Now let's talk about something that's making new cars even more expensive. Interest rates. Oh man, this is brutal right now. Back in 2020 and 2021, you could get a new car loan for like 2 or 3%. Those days are gone. Right now, if you have good credit, you're looking at 6 to 8% on a new car loan. If your credit is average, could be 10 to 12%. And if your credit is rough, I've seen rates as high as 18 to 20%. That's credit card territory. Let me show you what this means in real numbers. Say you buy that 50 grand car. You put down 5 grand, so you're financing 45,000. At 7% interest over 6 years, your monthly payment is about $750. Over the life of that loan, you'll pay over $9,000 in interest alone. So that 50 grand car actually cost you 59 grand. And here's what really kills me. Most people are stretching these loans out to 6, 7, even 8 years just to afford the payment. You know what happens when you have an 8-year loan? You're underwater on that car for like 5 years. You can't sell it. You can't trade it. You're stuck. And by the time you pay it off, the car has 120,000 miles and needs major repairs. Meanwhile, used cars often qualify for lower interest rates if you buy certified pre-owned. And because the purchase price is lower, you're paying way less interest, even if the rate is similar. My 18 grand used car, I financed 15 grand at 5% for 4 years. Total interest paid? About $1,600. I saved over 7 grand in interest alone compared to buying new. Insurance costs more. Here's something people don't think about when they're shopping for a new car. Insurance. Man, insurance on new cars is expensive. Your insurance company bases your rates on the value of the car. Makes sense, right? The more expensive the car, the more it costs to replace or repair. So your premiums go up. That new 50 grand car? You're probably looking at $150 to $250 a month for full coverage depending on your age and driving record. My older car? I pay about $90 a month. That's $60 to $160 a month in savings. Over a year, that's $720 to $1,920 staying in my pocket. Over 5 years? That's $3,600 to $9,600. That's real money. And here's another thing. With an older car, once it's paid off, you can drop your coverage to liability only if you want. Can't do that with a new car because the bank requires full coverage. Even after my car is paid off, I'll probably keep full coverage because it's so cheap, but I have the option to drop it if times get tough. Plus, older cars are cheaper to register in most states. Registration fees are often based on the car's value. New car, higher registration. Older car, lower registration. It all adds up. New car technology is complicated. Okay, let's talk about all this fancy new technology in modern cars. And look, some of it is actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, automatic emergency braking, this stuff can be genuinely helpful and make driving safer. But here's the problem. All this technology is expensive to fix when it breaks. And trust me, it breaks. I see it every single day on my lot. That fancy adaptive cruise control system, if the radar sensor goes bad, that's an $800 to $1,500 repair. The camera for your lane-keeping assist gets dirty or misaligned. Could be $500 to $1,000 to recalibrate. Your infotainment screen dies? Some of these systems cost 2 to 3 grand to replace. And it's not just the cost, it's the complexity. You can't just take your car to any mechanic anymore. You need a dealership with specialized equipment. You need software updates. You need certified technicians. All of that costs more money. My 2015? Yeah, it's got Bluetooth and a backup camera. That's about it for technology. And you know what? That's fine with me. Everything is simple. Any mechanic can work on it. Parts are cheap and available. If something breaks, it's not a catastrophe. I had a customer trade in a 2021 Ford F-150 because his digital dash died. The repair quote from the dealership? $4,000. 4 grand. For a screen. He said forget it, traded the truck in and bought an older model. Made way more sense financially. And don't even get me started on subscriptions. Yeah, some manufacturers are now charging monthly subscriptions for features that are already built into the car. Want heated seats? That'll be $15 a month. Remote start? Another $10 a month. It's absolutely crazy. Reliability myths. Now, here's where people always push back. They say, but new cars are more reliable. You won't have any problems for years. Old cars are going to break down all the time. Okay, let me set the record straight. That used to be true. Back in the 80 seconds and 90 seconds, yeah, cars started having serious problems around 100,000 miles. But that's not the case anymore. Modern cars, even ones from 10 years ago, are incredibly reliable if you maintain them. I see Honda Accords and Toyota Camrys from 2010 to 2015 with 150,000 miles that run like new. Barely any issues, just regular maintenance. Oil changes, brakes, tires. That's it. These cars will easily go 200,000 to 250,000 miles. And here's a secret from the industry. A lot of new cars have first-year problems. They're working out bugs in new designs, new technology, new manufacturing processes. I can't tell you how many 2023 and 2024 models I've seen come back for recalls or weird electrical issues. You know what's more reliable than a brand new car with unproven technology? A 3 to 5 year old car where all the bugs have been worked out, the recalls have been done. You know exactly what problems that model has because they've already surfaced. Plus, if you buy a used car with a good history, you can see the maintenance records. You know it's been taken care of. With a new car, you're starting from scratch and hoping for the best. Now, I'm not saying all used cars are reliable. You gotta do your homework. Get a pre-purchase inspection. Check the Carfax. Buy from a reputable dealer or private seller. But if you're smart about it, a used car can be just as reliable as new, sometimes more. The payment trap. Let's talk about something I see every single day in my showroom, the payment trap. This is how dealerships get people into cars they can't afford, and it's how people end up in financial trouble. Someone comes in and says, I want to keep my payment under $500 a month. Okay, great. So we find a car that's 40 grand, but at $500 a month, that's like an 8-year loan. And most people don't realize what that means. First, you're going to be paying on this car for 8 years. That's a long time. Life changes. You might need a different vehicle. You might lose your job. You might have kids. But you're stuck with this payment for 8 years. Second, you're so far underwater for so long. For the first 4 to 5 years, you owe more than the car is worth. If you get in an accident and the car is totaled, your insurance might not cover the full loan amount. You could owe thousands even after the car is gone. Third, think about all that interest. On an 8-year loan at 7%, you're paying almost as much in interest as you're paying down principal for the first few years. You're just throwing money away. Here's what I do instead. I bought a car I could afford to pay off in 4 years max. My payment was a little higher, but I owned the car faster, less interest paid. And now, my car is paid off. No payment. That's $750 a month that people are paying for new cars? That's going into my savings account. And you know what's amazing? Not having a car payment. It's the best feeling in the world. You have so much more financial freedom. You can save for a house. You can invest. You can take vacations. You're not stressed about making the payment every month. What you actually need. Okay, real talk time. Let's talk about what you actually need in a car versus what the marketing tells you that you need. Do you need a car that goes 0 to 60 inches 5 seconds? Probably not. Do you need a car with a 12-inch touchscreen? Nope. Do you need massaging seats and a heads-up display? Definitely not. What do you actually need? You need reliable transportation from point A to point B. You need something safe. You need something that gets decent gas mileage. You need something that's comfortable enough for your daily commute. That's pretty much it. Everything else is wants, not needs. And wants are expensive. Every feature you add, every upgrade you choose, that's more money out of your pocket. More money in depreciation. More money in repairs down the road. My 2015 gets me to work every day. It's comfortable, it's safe, It gets 30 miles per gallon. It has AC and heat. It has Bluetooth for my phone. What else do I really need? Nothing. Sure, it would be nice to have ventilated seats. It would be cool to have a bigger screen. But are those things worth 30 grand more? Hell no. I'll take that 30 grand and put it toward my kids' college fund or my retirement. And here's the thing about car features. You get used to them real quick and they become normal. That fancy new car smell? Gone in a month. Those cool LED headlights? You stop noticing them after a week. The shiny new paint gets dirty and scratched like every other car. You know what never gets old? Not having a car payment, having money in the bank, being able to afford other things you want because you're not throwing $750 a month at a depreciating asset. When new makes sense. All right, so I've been pretty hard on new cars. But I want to be fair here. There are situations where buying new actually makes sense. Let me tell you when. First, if you plan to keep the car for 10 plus years and drive it into the ground, buying new can work. You get the full warranty. You know the complete history because you're the only owner. You maintain it from day one. If you're going to put 200,000 miles on it, that upfront depreciation gets spread out over a lot of years. Second, if you have a specific need that only a new model meets, maybe it makes sense. Like if you need the latest safety features because you're driving your family around, or you need a truck with specific towing capacity that's only available in newer models. Third, if you can truly afford it without stretching. If you're making six figures, have no debt, maxed out retirement accounts, and have a solid emergency fund, then yeah, buy a new car if you want. You've earned it. But most people aren't in that situation. Fourth, sometimes lease deals on new cars can actually make financial sense if you're someone who wants a new car every 3 years anyway. You're essentially just paying for the depreciation, and you always have a warranty. It's not my preferred approach, but it can work for some people. And lastly, some new cars hold their value really well. Toyotas and Hondas, for example, don't depreciate as fast as other brands. If you buy a new Tacoma or 4Runner, you'll still get a good chunk of your money back in a few years. The depreciation is still there, but it's not as brutal. But for most people, most situations, used makes way more sense financially. You get more car for your money, less depreciation, lower payments, cheaper insurance. It's just the smarter move. Conclusion. Look, at the end of the day, buying a car is a personal decision. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money, but I am here to give you the real deal from someone who's in this business every single day. New cars are more expensive than ever. The depreciation is brutal. The interest rates are high. The insurance costs more. And most of the fancy features are things you don't really need. Used cars, especially those 3 to 5 year old sweet spot vehicles, give you way more value for your money. Let someone else take the depreciation hit. You get a reliable car for half the price. That's why I'm not buying new. That's why I'm perfectly happy with my 2015. It does everything I need, costs me way less, and lets me save money for things that actually matter. If this video helped you think differently about car buying, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment and let me know. Are you team new car or team used car? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, make smart decisions with your money and don't let a car payment run your life. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.